Hi guys, my name is Danny Galieote. I'm a professional painter and I was an animator for Disney for many years, and life drawing has been a big part of what I do. And so here we're going to be doing some quick sketches. So we're going to be working from the daily life drawing session videos that we have on New Masters Academy. And so what I want you to do is go through these and do them on your own first, and then come back to them and compare what the other instructors are doing. Comparing other instructors, what they're doing, you're going to start to see a lot of common denominators with what they're doing, and that's how you learn. But first do them yourself and come back to it over and over again, and let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to be starting off this little drawing session here with some Stabilo Carbothello pencils, and I'm using 645 and 655. 645 is a little bit on the redder side. 55 is got a little bit more of a sepia look, red chalk. Kind of prefer that look. It has kind of a warmer classical sort of feel. So basically what I'm doing is I sharpen my pencil so that it has like a long point like this. So that's our pencil. So by having the pencil sharpened like this, I can get a wide stroke, and I could turn the pencil and get a nice fine stroke. And I can get soft tones. I can do quick core shadow and block in of the shadow like that. So it gives you a lot of ability to do different line qualities with that. And I like to have several pencils like this ready to go as you're starting to draw your session, because when the model's posing, you don't want to have to stop and go and sharpen your pencil. So whenever I teach a class, I always tell everybody in the class to make sure you have 3 to 5 pencils like this ready to go. Okay, so all right, I'm going to start off drawing this one on the left. Okay, and the first thing I'm always looking at is the rhythm and the flow. Posing rhythms. Thinking about balance. So once I get the torso blocked in and these arms are kind of just secondary to the action of the figure, I'm going to start looking at just a quick indication of the position of the head, the pit of the neck, sternum, rib cage, side to side. Okay. Just blocking the head, neck. Thinking about this torso movement. And I'm not drawing the whole figure on this one, I'm just drawing mostly the torso here. So I want to find this rib cage, breast on top. Okay. Okay, I'm going to draw this one on the right here. And one of the things when I'm drawing the figure on these quick sketches, sometimes I'm thinking about just doing a part of the figure. You don't have to always do the whole figure, especially if you're just getting warmed up. Sometimes you'll do a whole page of drawings just by doing a portion of the figure. Sometimes you'll just do torso, sometimes you just do hands, heads. So I'll be drawing this one on the right here. Head, neck, shoulder relationship. Torso relationship. And I'm thinking about forms fitting together quickly, just getting the essentials. Posing rhythms throughout the figure. And I'm not going to bother myself with getting the pectoralis and all that on top first. I'm just getting the rhythms of the torso fitting together. The legs I can just treat as a shape for now. Thinking about the foot, the rhythm of that foot into the torso. And I could always block that in later and bring in the, that column, this cylinder of the leg. But let me get this. Pit of the neck, sternum, rib cage, breast on top, torso, wedge of the abs. Okay. So head, neck, shoulders, rhythm of the torso. I'm always checking alignments, even on the quick ones, checking up to see where things are lining up with other parts so that you get them in the right place. Feeling the actions. Seventh vertebrae will tell you where the rib cage is. Feeling that slight pinch here. One side is stretching more, one side's pinching more. All right, so on this one, I'll do on the drawing, the figure on the right. Head, neck, shoulder line. I might get a quick indication of this ear. Set the head in space real quick. Thinking about these knees creating this plane. Rhythm of the legs from the torso. I'm gonna get this rib cage here. A little bit of the scapula, sacrum. So this hip structure here into this leg. Just kind of getting like a plane change here on this leg, and I might just group this all together. Okay. Getting this head in space quickly, feeling this neck or the shoulder line. Feel this other shoulder over here. I'm thinking about this tube of that torso going back into the hip structure. This knee squashing up underneath. Feel this rib cage. Whenever you feel one side, feel the other side. Try to find what I call the buddy system. I try to feel, if I'm feeling one side, I try to feel the other side. To try to get the feeling of solidity. Bottom of the rib cage. Okay, I'm going to draw this one on the right. You just get overall rhythms of the figure. Subtle balance. And not worrying about the lines to start with, just get the overall flow. Rib cage. Feeling one side to the other. Scapula. Hip structure, feeling that hip pulling off the glutes, this leg fitting in. Okay. If there's any time, quick. Okay. Just want to get this head set in space real quick. The neck is behind that. Seventh vertebrae is here. Angle the shoulders. Trapezius. Okay. Now this flow of this rib cage coming off. And I'm thinking about this. Perspective. Foreshortening. The hip coming off behind that. Hitting this great trochanter. And coming down. Okay, let's get the spine. Trying to see through. You want, whenever you have poses like this, you want to look through and try to feel the form underneath. Like this hand, I'll get later on if I had time. I want to get the major stuff here, which is the torso, rib cage fitting into the hip structure. Okay, I'm going to feel this scapula coming off here. Okay, so this is going to be a 5-minute pose. So a little bit more time to analyze. Got the head back there, got the rib cage. Hip structure. I'm not looking at parts. I'm thinking about the overall rhythms and fluid relationships and the harmony, the action. You always want to go for the action of these figures. You always want to think about the movement and the rhythm, parts fitting together, like both those legs I'm putting together right now because they're kind of grouping. Okay, so where's the pit of the neck? It's under here somewhere. Sternum is under here. Rib cage here. And here. And I think I just broke my pencil, but I think I can get a little more out of it. And that's why I have several to spare. I'm going to feel this oblique fitting in, pelvic crest there where I laid it in. Feel the cylinder of this thigh coming toward me. Got the other side of the glutes here and this other thigh underneath coming toward me. And you can see as I'm drawing, I'm using the side of my pencil and then the broad side. So thin and thick lines together. Just going to leave that here for now and I'll get back to that. Okay, so here we have the pectoralis, breast on top. breast on top, going behind the rib cage, other arm coming from here, from the shoulder under there. Okay, so let's get a little bit of tone, core shadow coming down. Let's quickly lay in a little bit of this light here. And at the last minute, if I have time, I'll hit in a couple darks real quick, little accents. Okay, so I want to get the feeling of this head to neck. Seventh vertebrae, this shoulder relationship. Just getting that kind of blocked in, this head, neck, shoulders. Okay. Now for the action. So I'm thinking of opposing rhythms. Okay, so I'm getting overall fluidity of the pose and rhythmic statement of the pose. Okay, so now I'm thinking of solidity now. I'm going to feel this rib cage. Seventh vertebrae. We got the spine coming off of that. And I'm just going to get a little bit of an overlap here just to show more volume. Sometimes you need to invent some overlaps based on what you know about anatomy. Okay, shoulder here. Sometimes on the quicker poses, I'll even sneak in like the core shadow before I'm even finished with the form, just because knowing that I'm going to be in a rush and that it will give the drawing a more finished look if I don't have time. Okay, so I want to get this breast on top. Get this hip to the glutes down here. And don't be afraid to show your underdrawing. Like these kind of extra lines are cool. They're great to keep in your drawing. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I believe there's an Italian term called pettamenti that they use in the classical figure drawings when studying them, that kind of indicate Pontormo's or Michelangelo's quick sketch. And several lines, there was several lines or mistakes that they would use to find out the figure's movement and action. Okay, just a little bit time left, so I'm going to do a quick indication of this foot, this action, and then I'm going to try to add a little bit of light chalk real quick. Just a quick indication of that hot spot. You always want to have like a main character and supporting characters basically of your drawing. So you have that main hot spot, and then you have some lesser important areas. A bit on that face real quick, and just block in this coarse shadow real quick. I hope you learned a lot from these demonstrations, working from the figure, working from the quick sketch. There's hundreds of hours on the New Masters Academy website, and there's hundreds of ways to approach the figure, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. So if you want to learn more, if you want to get serious about your career, and you want to think about just getting started even, click on this button here and think about how you can expand your career, expand your horizons and your knowledge of art. There's tons of videos that we have in expanding on what I was talking about today in the quick sketch. We talk about the rhythm, the movement, the gesture, the solidity of the figure, and we expand on this 100 times what we did in this video today. So let's get going.